family. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Just wanted to reach out to tell you that I love you guys. I'll always be there for you, no matter what. I want you to know that you're the only one that will never turn your back on you. We've all had some tough times, especially us chosen ones, us divine beings, our spiritual beings. We've always had a tough time. My life, I could sit there and tell you, but I don't think we have enough video to really tell you. It should be a sequel, a story saga like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. Because I have gone through so many things that would the normal average human being would have probably done something to themselves or psychologically broke down. The hard, difficult life that most of us go through creates that beautiful, powerful being that we are. Forgive me for the light going back and forth from dark to light. But I need you to know how special you are. I always mention this on the videos, only because I know how special I am. I learned to understand how special I am. In a nutshell, ever since I was a little boy, I had to defend my family against a monster. We called him Mother and Father. Now, these two monsters, very difficult. But eventually, I got through it. While I was going through it, certain things directed me to do other things. I always wanted to be a ball player, professional ball player. That was my dream. I wind up becoming that ball player and fulfilling that dream. At the same time, I wanted to protect my family. So there was a part of me that first I went to university for a year, and then I went to the military for a few years, then back into university. But during the time I was in the military and went back to university, I got my contract to play ball again. Now, the Mother Most High and the Father Most High, this divine spiritual being that created me, created you, created us, they put me on that path for a reason. And now the way the world is changing, they have put me back into my spiritual path, back on my destiny to reach out to you guys. Now that internet is all over the place, I'm able to reach out to you guys instead of reaching out to just a handful of people that I'm around or the public that I'm around. Throughout my life, I've had to defend myself and save my family, which I did. The moment that I left to the military, that was the year the year before that my parents divorced. So we were safe. My brothers and sisters had to deal with the mother. And she molded them in her negative vibrational way, let's say. They all became dark. Now, ever since then, for the last 30 years, they have told lies to cover themselves. My mother's youngest two children were the darkest of the family and have the darkest reputations. And they've done things that they had to hide, so they had to blame it on me because I wasn't in that area. So for them to hide their truth, they gave me the reputation that they had built up. I had no problem with it because I was never really just coming back for anything. I already let go of them a long time ago because I knew that they never defended me, they never sided with me, they never thanked me, they never cared about me. And my mother always turned a blind eye. Spirits, God, Mother, Father, Most High has always left messages for me, has always shown me my path. I have always been able to break away from these demons. No matter how many times they try to lure me back in, I've been able to break away from them. 2007, for instance, I hadn't seen them in years. I was living large, I was living in Europe, I was playing professional baseball, and they suckered me in by saying my mother had breast cancer. So I gave up everything, to come back and help her. It turns out that she was fine, so I don't know if this was a true story or not, but they wanted to sidetrack me from the lifestyle that I was in. While I was here, I was helping my brother double his square footage by building his house. In a nutshell, I hit my head, had a subdural hemorrhage, memory loss, went to a light coma, woke up and didn't know anything of my past, couldn't remember that I was living in Europe. So they took advantage of that. When I came back out of the hospital, it took about a month before they threw me out of the house, because I came back, stayed with my mother, and then my younger brother packs all my belongings in garbage bags and lines them outside under the tree, and they tell me that I can't live there anymore. Hey, no problem. So then right away, God had his path, her path paved for me. Right away, I wound up finding work. Within a month, finding an apartment. Within a month, finding a car. And everything just worked its way out. Now, I could have turned and been vicious to these people, but I've always turned the other cheek, because that's what I was taught, never to be angry at the family, and you figure family's family, you stay together. It took me a long time to realize that these evil people are not really family, but they're karmic family. And they're here to teach me a lesson, which they do every single time. And because I'm one of those divine beings with that beautiful spiritual heart, that I believe that the next, tomorrow is a beautiful day, and the next day, and it'll be a new day, I always think that they're going to heal themselves and be cured and take the right path, which they never do. And I started to see that in other people's lives where they were going through the same thing, maybe not exactly the same thing, but about the same type of path, where they had to break away from these karmics. It's very difficult, because we're humans. We love to be in community. We love to be around people. We love to unite with people. And my whole life, I've never been able to do that unless I was in the military in a unit, or on a baseball team, in a group, doing theater, working with groups. I've never had immediate family. So I say. But outside, everywhere I go, I meet another human being. And I've never put the pieces together that, okay, I always knew that we were a human family, but I didn't know exactly what that meant. And when I started to see the human family and replace them from the karmics that I had around me, that's when I realized, oh, that's what God's trying to tell me. That's what the Mother and Father Most High are putting me on this path, to unite humanity and let humanity know that the people that usually come into contact with are not your true friends or your true family members, especially the ones that you've grown up with. Some people do have good experiences. Some people do have good parents. I'm not saying all of them are horrible, but majority of the ones that I've seen, my friends went through a lot of things, and there are a lot of chosen, and there are a lot of people that are close to being on that path of the chosen, but the chosen are special. I want to say and take the idea of what they have in the Bible with the 144,000 people that are supposed to be saved. I believe the chosen are 144,000 people that can only love humanity and unite humanity, like the Native Americans had, like the Aboriginals had, the shaman and medicine man, and people that were so loving and compassionate, the Sybils, these are the ones that will go to bat for humanity no matter what. Will go fight in the spiritual world to change the physical world. That's what I am. That's who I'm trying to approach through these videos. You chosen. You already know who you are. You've known it your whole life. And you've done a good job. You've done an excellent job getting through it. If you've gotten so far, even as far as me, you are one fantastic superhero. You're a super entity, a super being. You could sit there and go through anything, nuclear disaster, and you still come out alive. There's something so special about us, but we need to tap into it. I've been tapping into it, but I haven't tapped into it fully. But I have been tapping into it because I've been in tune. I've been tapped in, turned on, tuned in to what I am. I've always been walking this path of good character. So if you did something, I wouldn't even take the time to really yell at you. I'm like, okay, you know what? I have to approach this another way, take another path. So I did. I wouldn't call you out on it, wouldn't fight you on it, wouldn't destroy you on it, because I knew that that's what you karmics like. You like and love that we become low vibration like you. But us divine beings, we're not like that. We never have been. We're puzzled. Of course, we're puzzled. Like, what's wrong with these people? But yeah, I guess you have the story of God and the devil, and I guess, I'm going to put you guys on the side of the devils, because humanity is very special. You could be divine or you could be evil. And most of you choose to be evil. I know my family's always been evil. If you see the history that they have, the things that they've done, the two youngest brothers, the youngest of them all, of my family, he's the worst. And he's done so many horrible things. And he's duped the people around him. He's duped the people on the block. Because when I left, no one really knew me. We had neighbors across the street. They were just moving in or just getting to know the area. And I left to go to college, then to the military, and then I left for Europe. So my mother was able to hide all the dirtiness of my brothers by blaming it on the oldest child who wasn't there. It's amazing, isn't it? Now, everyone that's known the oldest child has always known him to be beautiful, kind, loving. All my teachers have always said that, they love our family, but they never really got to know our family. They've always loved the firstborn. That I've known, and I've known that for sure because they've all said it and they continue to say it. And it's not to pat me on the back. It's just to let you know that that beauty that we have inside, that's natural. That's that inner child. That's an innate being. We all have it. Whether we choose to keep it every day, that's the difficult choice that we have walking through our past. I noticed that my family doesn't keep theirs. I don't think they even know their inner child anymore after the horrible things that they've done, especially to their older brother who's always been there. And I have no problem with it. I just find it sad because, we're conditioned to believe that family will always be there for each other. We'll always look out for each other. They stand throughout time. Yeah, there's a plaque back here that says family gathers here. And maybe in this area where I am, but not where I grew up. There was no such thing as family. Now, when I came back, after all these years, I noticed that the neighbors looked at me weird and would muffle under their breath really weird and look at me through the side eye. And I never understood what it was until my discernment went off and I was like, oh, I see. The lies of this guy, my mom hides. So I can never speak to my mother one-on-one because she's always telling lies. Speak to my brother one-on-one. He's always telling lies. Then the youngest brother and I, we don't really get along because he's just, ugh. Oh, it's like stepping in doggy poop. You just want to throw away the whole shoe. Like, I'm not gonna clean it. Um, my sister has so many secrets. She has so many secrets that she's hiding from her own family, from her own children, and she learned that from my mother. So I noticed throughout the years that they are karmic family. I never called them that when I was young because I didn't understand what karmic was until I went to Europe and started understanding spirituality, and I started traveling and I went to different countries, and then I saw what spirituality is, the action of it, faith, blind faith. And I started to see that whatever was here in the United States was totally different. And there's a history of the United States as well. We'll probably do that on another video. And that's the new world, and that's the new way of life and the new history that they gave to people that had nothing to do with the European history from where everyone came from, and the African history people came from, and the Australian history where people were coming from. Because here's a great melting pot in the United States. Now, we just don't understand how the world was created, and we don't understand how the system was created, as above as below, trying to masquerade what is the supreme being, the supreme deity, the supreme source, and take its place by implementing the system so that it disguises that the human being is no longer an inheritance of this great planet. Now, while I was growing up, like I said, it was a very difficult time. When I left and I started to become an adult, I didn't have a difficult time. Anytime I came back to the United States to my family, it was always a difficult time, something that happened. You know, 1999 I came back, 2007 I came back, 2014 I came back, 2018, then 2021 for good. So I would come back on spurts and visits. And during that time, I've always had a family that's always shut me away and always pushed me away. My mother told me when I was young, hey, you always have a home. This is home. You could always return to it. And that was a huge lie. It was a huge lie. She's never been an honest person, and I knew that. I would say that to and tell her friends as well that she's not honest. But they would look at me, oh, that's not nice. You shouldn't say that. But now, her best friend, or one of her best friends that lives next door, she doesn't speak to my mother because she realized, wow, your mother tells lies. And I was like, oh, how long have I been telling you this? She goes, well, I had a hard time believing it. I said, I know. But I've been telling you since I was young. And that was the same person that said, I didn't think you were going to make it. And she meant the way my father beat me as a child. She never thought I'd ever make it. So that's the upbringing that I had. I had a horrible mother and a horrible father. Now, my mother's friends wind up getting to know her, and they no longer speak to her. They no longer approach her or call her or anything. And that's because she's always hiding her faults. Now, my mother did this in particularly because no one knew about the autism. She had autism before autism even existed. And the older they got, the friends that were around her, they realized, wow, she's still like this? Mm-hmm. That's right. I was brought up by an autistic mother, and I didn't know. I just knew that she would always lie, she would always cheat, she would always steal. She would do that to her friends, she would do that to her family. And then when I got to know her family when I went abroad, I realized that all her sisters, well, not all, there was a couple of them that were okay. Most of them had that same mindset. A couple of the brothers had the same spirit and mindset. I guess, the mother most high and the father most high, they always make sure that karma comes back to you, and they fix the path. They wrong the rights. and right the wrongs. So they did that for me always. And I went through life unnoticed. I didn't notice any of it. I just documented it in my subconscious that these things were happening. I never really sat down to tell anybody my story like I am now. I wanted to do this during a live, but because I don't have that many followers, um, I might have to do it in video segments. Otherwise, I would just do it live, where we could sit there, chat. You could throw questions in the chat box, throw your experience in the chat box, and then we can experience this and change our perception and change the world. So, here I am, walking through life, no matter what. The Mother Most High and the Father Most High has always made sure that I was okay. No matter what the struggle was. I just couldn't be negative in my head or in my heart or in my energy. Sometimes I would, because I was conditioned not to like myself because my family didn't like me. They pushed me away, so I would be tough on myself. But then I noticed that I'm only around people that are so positive and so beautiful that I only could enhance that in myself. That's why I reach out to you now, as a collective. Because the groups that I was in, baseball, acting, modeling, so forth, they were small groups. And it was maybe in one country or 10 countries or 15 countries that I would see different people, but not all the time. And once you have a conversation, they have that conversation. Once you share that energy, you share that energy. Whatever happens after that, once you get up and go, we don't know. But now you can reflect to these videos because they'll be on the timeline. They'll be in the digital archives. You could sit there and watch it again, refresh your memory. And you can see that no matter what, you are powerful chosen. You are powerful people. And if you walk in your good character, only good things happen. Right now, my family, they try to disguise who they are. They try to take my identity. They try to use my identity. And even till today, even my father's recent passing, stealing inheritance. Of course, it'd be nice to have money, but that's not why I'm here on this planet. I could figure out a way to make money and I could figure out a way to survive. But I'm not going to survive off the backs of someone else. Because I am a chosen one. I've always been a divine one. I've always been a light worker. And I've always been around light workers. No matter what country I'm in, I find a light worker. So, if I had the chance to document this in the last 30 years with video, you would have seen so many beautiful things in this world. And you would have learned true history instead of the lies that we're given. And if you were able to travel and you were able to travel with me, if I was able to post it every day, I would have posted a video every day for 30 years, letting you see the experiences of our human family. Let you see that all of us just want to be around each other. We know the lies that our governments are portraying. We know the nastiness of the system that we're in. We know that we are bombarded with entertainment, education, economics, labor law, religion, politics, war, sex. We know that we're bombarded in every day. And we know that that's part of the system. We know that those 9 things, they matter. We know symbolism matters. We know the reason why they try to have a war on everything biological. And they try to destroy it because that is part of you. Everything that's outside, all the elements, all of nature, all of that's in you. It's amazing how beautiful you are, a a human being that is a spiritual being, that is having a human experience, that walks in a human body with all of these elements and yet doesn't implode or explode, you have to be something really special, and we have to look into it. We have to start understanding that we are the superheroes. We are the super beings. The super beings that we see on TV, the super beings that we read in books, in religion. You are that supreme being. You are born of the Alpha and the Omega, the Mother Most High and Father Most High. And we all know that we all come from a mother. That's why you hear me mostly always say mother and father. Even I believed in God and the story when I was following, as a kid, my mother with her Catholicism. And as a kid, I tell her, I think I was like 9 when I told her. That's also a special number, like I said, number 9. I told her that I don't believe God is a man because of the description that she gave to me about God, and the description that the priests and the rabbis and all the people that I've spoken to and the people that are around me that are into different types of religion, they always gave me an explanation of something too beautiful that it couldn't be a man. It just couldn't. Number one, men are very slow. They don't pick up things. They're not very compassionate. They're not very empathetic. They're not very attached. Of course, I'm not talking about the chosen ones, and I'm not talking about all. But you know, you guys, you know that more guys out there are detached. And nowadays, I guess with the epidemics around the world, with the food and the medicines, that the women are detached too. But they were more attached. That's what the past was all about. That's what all this destruction and war was about. It was a war against the mother, against the child. And it's still, that war is still existing today. I mean, you have movies now talking about child trafficking. You've always had movies and shows talking about women's rapes and abuse. And we came from from a generation that the men were hitting their women, and silently these women were just covering up with all this makeup and saying nothing. I've watched that, I remember my father actually pulling all 4 of us into the dining room, telling us to take a knee, that he had a machete in his hand. He was going to kill my mother. And we were supposed to watch it, and I wound up being the savior in that moment. I ran out that house and made him chase me twice. He got me the first time, brought me back in, and then I took the back door and ran and grabbed somebody to come back to the house. And for some reason, I just did it. And that wound up saving the family that is my karmic family. I'm sure they went through a lot of stuff, also psychological. They didn't go as much as physical as what I went through. But they did get some of it. And I know that most people will not ever be able to survive the stuff I went through, even in the military. They would not survive what I went through. I died 3 times in the military. Somehow, Mother Most High and Father Most High said, it's not your time. And they brought me back. Went to Europe. Had a few, what they call lung embolisms, had 6 or 7. And they call those widowmakers. You're supposed to die from those things. So 7 times 3, that's 10. So that's 10 times I should have died. And then there was this one car accident that makes it number 11. And when I add them all together, that's a divine number. So there's a reason why the Mother Most High, Father Most High have me here on my path to connect with you and speak with you. Maybe I'm supposed to just help you hop back into your vibration. Maybe you've gone through something similar to what I've gone through. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you just know someone that's gone through it. Maybe it's time for us just to awaken up and just see how beautiful and how strong we are. Because psychologically, I never went down. Mentally, I never went down. I don't have any mental disorders or anything like that because of the PTSD I suffered as a child, in the military, and abroad. I've never opened up that bag of PTSD. I'm sure I have a few of them behind me. There must be like 50,000-pound bags, but there might be a few. Mother and Father Most High, they make sure they don't open up. I'm always been a kind of a relaxed person, but I see through you. And when I see through you, I make sure that I know, through my vibrations that this will be the last time we see each other. I don't even have to verbally let you know. I will let you feel through my vibrations. I don't trust you. I don't believe you. You're full of poo-poo. And when I do that, you know it. Once in a while, I'll sit there and tell a story that might have you in it, but not intentionally. I'll speak about something totally different from my experiences, and you'll just seem to resonate, which puts you in that story. Now, I've done that. I've been able to show the mirror of who you are to you, because that's what the Alpha Omega put in me, made sure that I have it so I could always reach out to you. And if you want to hop back on your healing path, I only could lead you to the water. I can't sit there and shove your head in there and force you to drink it. You have to do it. And I know a lot of you just don't like drinking water. You like your sodas and you like your juices, you like your alcohol. So I don't think any of you just sit there and drink the water of life, the living water. Now, there's a biological attack also on the whole human species. Anything that's a living species, anything that has any life to it has been attacked ever since I was young and before that. They were attacking nature and beginning with all these DDTs and pesticides. And then it changed all our way of life, from gardening into living fruit to processed foods and GMOs. They took away all the glass and brought it all to plastic to bring in the cancers and ailments, diseases. The word escapes me what I want to say. So we already know that this attack has been on for as long as we've been here. I've been here half a century, and I know some of you are older and some of you are even younger, but you have parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, so you know someone around you is in that group of knowledgeable, divine spirit beings that walk this earth. I know that all of us will come together one day, and it may be soon. I guess that's why I'm making these videos, because before I used to just talk to a handful of people and write some things and get them out to a handful of people, but now it's time to let you know that something major is happening. By 2025, 2027, we should be more united, because there's a catastrophe coming, a huge one. You should be ready for it. I know the chosen will be. You'll be in that vibration to be able to get in there. There's a lot of people that won't be. Like, I know I won't have that immediate family I have. And if they go, hey, they go. And it's no sweat off my back, because Mother Most High, Father Most High already let me know, let them go. They have no chance. If they don't want to walk in their path of good character, you continue to walk yours. That's why you're chosen and they were not. So I'm reaching out to the rest of my chosen, the rest of the chosen family, the earth angels, the divine beings. Keep healthy. Know that there's nothing that will pull us away from our path unless we choose to be pulled away from that path. There are a lot of things that used to distract us, but they no longer distract us. And the people around us, we already know that we have to get rid of. We just have to be more loving to ourselves and accept that, hey, this heart is for us and the good people, not for any of the negative people or the bad people. So I just want to reach out to you to, again, allow you to know that I'll always be there. You are another of myself in Lakesh. I will always be there for you. And it's time for us to be there for the rest of the family. We have to unite. We have to come together. Now, when I make these videos, I never know what I'm going to say. I try to sit here, with a couple of books. But like I said, sometimes they're just closed. I bring them over with some points, and I don't even address them in that order. I'll just address from whatever Mother Most High and Father Most High want me to speak to you. I just have to be more authentic. That's what they always wanted me to be, more authentic and more original. I've always been that way. But I know that if I'm sitting there reading off cue cards, or if I'm reading off the books and ideas, maybe I'll sound inauthentic, and I don't want to sound inauthentic. I know that there's a lot of us that went through a struggle, but there's a reason why we went through the struggle. The chosen ones, we're here to lead and guide everybody back into that vibration, back into that universal language, which comes from within. We already use it. We decided never to taint it or throw it away. And that's the reason why Mother Most High and Father Most High, they still connect with us, and they're still with us, and they will not allow these karmics to do anything. No weapon against us shall prosper, mentally, physically, or spiritually. I know that. And I've watched my family every day, even till this very day. They're still doing things where I have to giggle inside like, wow, you guys still don't learn your lesson? And during that time, one caught a tumor, the other one had to have triple bypass, scared of it. The other one had blood clots and breathing problems. The other one had ulcers and spiritual attacks. It's not something I ever wish on them, because I always wish for us to be a family. I still believe that we could probably be a family, but that's the naive part of me, because I already know the Mother Most High and the Father Most High already said, look, man, if you want to have garbage around you, select the garbage that you want. But if you want to live a fresh life, a healthy life, you got to get rid of all that garbage. And that garbage is mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, all of that. So I do. And then the divinity of the duality of the mother and father, they just sit there and they bring the people that need to be on my path to me, and bring me to them. And we heal each other, and we share energies with each other, and we teach each other, which is very nice, because we're always here to reciprocate, no matter what. I just know that I was taught as a little kid to treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And I've taught that to myself. Not that my father and mother taught it to me, because I wasn't conditioned like that. I know that my mother and father wouldn't give me love, so I created love in my subconscious, in my area, in my mind. And then throughout my half a century here on the planet, I've discovered what love is, and how you can be safe with me and me be safe with you, and then have that unconditional love. It's not something I've learned from the people that were around me in my youth. I gave myself an understanding as a child, and when I started to travel, I think I was around, went in the military around 1920. Yeah, 19 or 20 years old. Then started traveling, and then realize that the people outside are really my family, my human family. And I've never met one that was like my immediate family. I have met some messed up people, but never that messed up. But it's okay. There's a reason why I was on this path, on this chosen path. And the reason why I was born in one country and went to 68 countries. In total, 69 countries I've been in. Like I said, I always say 68 because I forget about the one I was born in. And it goes to show you that there's a reason for why we do these things. And as a divine brother and as a chosen one from your group, that the reason why I did that, it was for us to share our perceptions. Now, there will be soon, I will be hosting events for the chosen, for the divine, for the spiritual. And I'd like us to unite. I'd like us to get together. Because once we're together, that vibration is connected and will be more powerful than as we are right now, individuals all across the planet. But I'm starting to meet a lot of earth angels here. I'm starting to see a lot of divine people here, a lot of divine spirits, a lot of awakened people. We could unite them as well. But the chosen one, there's a reason why we're here. Everyone that's awakening, I'm not sure what their reason is or if they're going to find their path, but at least they're awakening. At least they're awakening to change. So maybe they'll be able to unite with us, maybe not. But us divine chosen, we are on this path and we're not going to stray from this path. So we need to get together. Just like the shamans used to do, just like the medicine men used to do, the sibyls used to do, the sorcerers used to do, the good witches used to do. I mean, that's the names they gave them, but they're all divine beings. Everyone that was attached to nature, spirituality, divinity, all divine beings. The colonizers of the world and the people who think that they own all of us, they gave us words, negative, low vibrational words, especially English, low vibrational language. It doesn't speak as high as the high vibrational love language from within. So you could only use these words sparingly. Every time I try to speak to you guys, I speak using a low vibrational language in a 3D language to try to explain and connect you into 12D and 13D. Because us divine chosen, we are that high. So I just need you to know that you and I will meet up, and it's going to be soon. 2024 is going to be a little different. But I'll reach out to you guys, and when the time comes, we will unite. I love you guys in Lakesh. And I'll see you soon.